It's been, well, if it's September 14th right now, then, and this game came out September 9th, which is 9/9/2014. So that means that it came out 5 days ago. Sorry for my math. We're gonna be talking about this game. Let's separate this. Let's talk about the graphics first. The graphics, you can definitely tell that this game was made by a AAA company, Bungie and Activision. Graphics are good. Whenever you do the whole turning into, what is it called? Super Saiyan thingy. It looks cool. Everything looks cool. Graphics, thumbs up, good. The design of the monsters and stuff, the characters, the aliens, they get a bit repetitive because, you know, there's only like a few, like about 20 different kinds. The gameplay, the gunplay, especially shooting, like just mowing down your enemies, that's pretty cool. Whenever you shoot someone in the head like an alien, they blow up and it's like, what? He just blew up. His head is gone because I shot him. And it's pretty satisfying. Another thing that you get to do is with the Warlock. I played with the Warlock. You get to do your hand thing and go like, and it's like, and it like kills everybody. The multiplayer is also good. This is actually a multiplayer only game. So whenever you're playing single player, even though it is single player, you can have two of your friends along with you, and you use the same character for multiplayer and single player. So when you're a level 15 in single player, when you go into multiplayer, you're going to be a level 15. But in multiplayer, levels don't matter. So if you're level 3 and you go into multiplayer and you see this level 20, you can still kill him pretty easily, but he can also still kill you. Basically the advantages you have of being a bigger level is you get more abilities, like you can fly in the air if you haven't already unlocked that by level 3. You can, I know with my Warlock, you can, if you aim while you're in the air, you stand still for a little bit, so that could be useful. Some people run faster and stuff like that. That's the only real advantage you have over someone that's level 3. There's no, like, the armor doesn't really do much of an advantage. It's pretty easy to kill someone still. The actual story of the single player, it's almost non-existent from the very beginning. Even when I was in the beta, I was thinking, dang, this story just kind of goes and it doesn't really stop. And it's not like one of those stories where it's convoluted, it's hard to understand. Well, it is hard to understand, but it's not like hard to understand because of something like Shutter Island, like you have to actually pay attention or anything. It's hard to understand because there's nothing to understand. There's nothing to grasp onto. First thing that happens, you wake up and you're like, well, here I am. And then your little robot says, we have to get going. I was going like, is that it? That was in the beta. And when I was in the beta, I was thinking, this isn't how the game is going to be. They're just doing this because it's the beta and they just want to show us a little something, a little action, to get us started off, to get us excited. But when the game actually came out, it started off the exact same way. The first few missions were exactly the same. The story is not there, basically. And how much does this affect the game? Actually, a lot. A big deal for me, at least personally for me. Big thing that I like in anything is a good story. One of my favorite games, The Last of Us, has an amazing story. In some parts of The Last of Us, it does lack. There were some boring parts, but the story made up for it at the end, and I think that was almost a perfect game. At the end, I wouldn't call the ending anticlimactic, and the reason for that is because it didn't seem like there was a climax or anything really. when I was playing the game, it was like sort of the story was there, I guess, sort of like if you paid attention, you were going like, oh, let's go here and take down the bad guys, and we have to kill the darkness. And it's a very simplistic story, and it doesn't really add much. When you go to the end, and the ending is what it is, it doesn't. The reason it doesn't feel like anticlimactic is because there was nothing leading up to anything. It was sort of like a flat. It was like a flat line. Usually, people who've taken English, high school English, even middle school English, know that there's a exposition where you learn your characters. The story didn't really have any of that. It was sort of like, there you are, you're already there, and then there's a rising action. It's leading up to something, the climax, and then there's a falling action. That's where the story is wrapping up, and usually the rising action is like slowly leading up to the climax, and the falling action is after the climax and it falls down, and then usually the falling action and the ending are near each other. But in this game, it wasn't like that. It was like there was no exposition. It was just a line, and then it just ended, and I was like, I ended up killing all these aliens and stuff, and I didn't get rewarded much either at the end for it, and it was for no reason, and it took a big part of the game away, and it was disappointing. So the question is this game worth the $60 that you paid for to get it? I would have to say yes. The only reason for that is because personally, I am a huge fan of story. It's basically the whole reason for the game being made. And when it doesn't have one, it takes a big part of it away. But this game still does have good looking graphics. It still has amazing gameplay. Still have cool shooting. You still have good multiplayer. And everything is there, but there is no story. That's the part that it's lacking. So is it worth the $60? Yes, but don't expect there to be a mind-blowing story, or even a good story, or even that much of a story. There is, I guess, a story, but it's not that much. Yeah, so if I were to give this a 10 rating out of 10, I don't know, I guess I'll just give it a 9. 9 I was thinking of The Last of Us. I would give it a 6 out of 10. It's not bad, but a big chunk of it, I think a game should have, is a story, is missing, so I don't think it's that good right now. 6 out of 10. That's as high as I can give it. Leave in the comments what you think about the game. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be against my thoughts, because I still like the game. It's still a good game, but it's not what I wanted. Leave in the comments what you think about the game. Like this video or dislike it. And subscribe if you want to see more. That's it. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.